Tyson, what is up today?
What's up, man? Sunday. Just reflecting back on the week here. Good to be with you again on the BrinkCast, episode 1.
Numero uno.
That's it. That is it. The beginning.
I would speak other languages, but I can't.
I was going to try and rattle something off.
I'm not very international.
No.
Oh, well. Number one. It's good, right? You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So
next thing you know, it'll be number 2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. One foot in front of the other one. Doing good, man. Had a good week. Dad life is keeping me busy as always. I'm going to be chatting a lot about that. So I hope you guys get a little bit of humor out of some of the stories and my struggles and pain and sometimes tears as we go on this journey together. So, Sunday caught a little bit of football today. The week that watched some sports. As you know, that's kind of my escape. So, it's been a good week, man. How about you?
It's been a great week. What did I do this week? Had teaching at the music house. And I had a gig last week, which was really good in town. Had a rehearsal tonight, which was great. Lots of Coops sports. Going to the rink, watching a lot of hockey, some school volleyball. They're doing pretty good. What else? Not much else exciting going on. Getting stuff ready around the house for Christmas. Halloween happened. That was pretty fun.
Yes, Halloween
was an event.
It was, yeah. It comes every year, and I love it. And having a baby now, I think I'm actually going to become a Halloween dad. I never thought I would be. I hated that the holiday growing up. You have to wear a costume to school. You're all uncomfortable, and you got to think of what to be. I thought I wasn't creative. I mean, if I tried a little, maybe applied myself a little more, I could have came up with something cool. But I'm so stoked to see how she enjoys these holidays, and obviously Halloween was kind of the first one since she's been born. So next year, I think we're going to do it up this year. I got to talk about this. It was kind of something I had planned for a while. So 3-month-old daughter at home. We were thinking, first Halloween, what do you really do with a 3-month-old, right? Like, you're not getting together with friends or anything. Mind you, a lot of our friends have babies. So we did end up getting them together, mostly just for a picture to capture the moment. And we were kind of brainstorming what's she going to be for Halloween? What's she going to be for this picture? And my wife found a cute little ladybug costume, which was adorable.
It was super adorable.
Yeah, she looked. Yeah, it was melted my heart when I saw her in that thing, and she actually didn't mind wearing it. So it was good. Got a good photo, but I gotta say, like I said earlier, I wasn't much of a Halloween guy, and maybe if I applied myself a little more, I would have came up with a cool costume. Well, I gotta tell you, I think this is the coolest costume that I have ever came up with.
I don't think you guys will ever undo this.
Yeah, and it wasn't even for me. So, like I said, this kind of got me in the Halloween spirit, and I can't wait to make help my daughter, come up with costumes, and maybe she'll have more of a say in the next few coming down the line. But anyways, this year, a little bit of context here: a big golf fan, big sports fan, whatever. Masters happened. Actually, I don't know. It wasn't even the Masters, but anyway, Scotty Scheffler got arrested. That whole kerfuffle. I'm sure you guys have heard lots about that. Anyways, the mugshot of him went viral, of course. Hilarious misunderstanding. Guy gets thrown in jail for a complete misunderstanding. Goes out, shoots like 67 the same day after being in a jail cell. Anyways, my young girl shares the name of this golfer, so we got her a jumpsuit off Amazon. Shout out Amazon, and dressed her up in the jumpsuit. We put her in front of a white background, and the wife threw a Snapchat filter on. The one with the facial hair.
Oh yes.
So
that wasn't real.
That wasn't real facial hair. No.
I was wondering. I was going to ask that question.
Baby girl was a ladybug, and and the
And an
fun
inmate.
and an inmate, and not only an inmate, but Scotty Scheffler as an inmate. So I don't know if we'll ever top it. We set the bar pretty high with that one. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to experience more Halloweens with her, and we'll see if she shares my hate for Halloween as a young kid, or maybe she'll be all in, and I hope she is, because it's gonna be a lot of fun for dad and mom.
You'll learn to like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You come around.
Yeah.
On the cold nights.
I'm already trying to brainstorm what we're gonna do next year, and I guess I'm gonna be trick or treating with her, so I might have to come up with a costume for myself. So I got about a year to come up with it. So.
Man.
Anyways.
Well, you got other stuff coming up first. Maybe we'll think about like Christmas.
Yeah. We got a big, I mean, Christmas coming up. We have
a baby.
We're super excited, obviously.
Christmas. We all are.
Christmas at any stage in your life is wonderful to begin with. But when you have
the first one,
have a baby, and then the first one, we got all the decorations ready to go. We're going to be What do you say that? Christmasifying? Yeah, something like that.
That's a word.
Yeah.
That's a word. That's a good one. That's actually a really good word. Christmasifying the house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clark Griswolding.
Something like that. Yeah.
Man,
anyways,
that's exciting though.
Yeah, it is.
Come on.
She's not really going to know what's going on, but she'll look back on the photos and the memories, of course, that dad and mom create with our little girl. Can't wait.
Yeah, that'll be. Well, we as grandparents are super, super pumped about this. But as a parent, back to your first Christmas, Jayla's first, everybody's first Christmas. It was incredible. It's absolutely an amazing thing. So we can't wait. The Halloween thing was really funny. Coop went out for Halloween. He's 12. Went out with his buddies. Him and 7 buddies had these blow up costumes. They spent a bunch of money on these costumes. They were super pumped about the costumes. Went out to go Halloweening. Left the house they were going from, and realized these things were a huge pain in the butt. They weren't going to work. They all bailed on the costumes.
Yeah.
6 of them had no costume. Coop had a banana hat thing wrapped around his neck. Proceeded to get a lot of candy. Proceeded to lose a phone. It was quite an eventful night.
Yeah, that is that. Yeah,
it was exciting.
That's that's quite an eventful night as a 12-year-old.
Times. See the 1-year-old was a lot more calm.
Talking about how he kind of bailed on the costume there. That's kind of the approach I took. I was always like, okay, let's make sure that we're comfy in this. Make sure we can fit a jacket under it. Let's be a hockey player. That's super original, right? Like, got all the gear, like basically wearing that 3-4 days a week anyway. So let's throw it on for Halloween.
It's got to be functional.
And I think we ran that back about 5 different times. So
of course, people don't remember at the houses. Don't remember.
That's right.
You're still getting all the chocolate bars.
That's right.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. No. Wow. Yeah. So Halloween was fun.
We're not winning any costume contests at the Brinkworth residence, although Scotty might be winning one.
Exactly. She should have won. That was incredible.
She has set the bar pretty high.
That made its rounds with the family and beyond. One thing that did happen today, if I can share this, if we got time.
I think so.
Last night, we're going to bed.
Yeah.
And I'm in bed already, and Laura's coming into bed, and she lets the dog out, and she comes into the bedroom and says, "The hot tub's making a funny sound. We should go check it out."
Oh.
And exactly. And I'm like tired. And again, you know how handy I am. I'm like, oh man, okay. So I go outside, and the water's down. So the first thing I think is, oh great, we got a leak in the hot tub. This is unbelievable. It's starting to get a little cooler outside. So I turn the power off, and I'm like, I'll deal with it in the morning. This is fine. So this morning, I go out to figure it out. And a little while ago, I had replaced a valve in the tub, and huge credit to my friend Rob Young in town who repairs hot tubs. He advised me on what to get. And I fixed it. Thought I fixed it.
Yeah.
Changed the water, cleaned the tub, refilled the water. Everything was great. But now the water's down. So I get a hold of Rob this morning. It's Sunday. And I get a hold of Rob thinking, okay, he'll get back to me, sometime this week. He gets back to me in like minutes. And it's just saying, check this. I check the valve that I had replaced, and it's leaking a bit. And I'm like, well, geez, that's kind of strange, but whatever. So I'm telling him what's going on, and he's like, okay, I can make it out Tuesday. I'm like, great, that's perfect. I'll leave the power off. No problem at all. This is fine. Phones me back and says, actually, I have some time right now. I'll stop by. And I was like, okay, why not? Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And he's a really nice guy. He's a fellow musician. So, we have an affinity for Sunday mornings. And he shows up and checks it out. And I say, I think this is the problem. So he looks at it and says, well, it just wasn't quite tight enough. And I didn't want to over tighten the PVC, the plastic. I didn't want to crack it because I'll do that. I'm over tightening guy.
Very, very rammy.
I'm the worst. Yeah. Anyways, so I didn't tighten it enough. So he was like, you know what? I think I have a better valve for this out in my van. And he's parked out front. And I'm like, okay, this is great.
Yeah.
So he said, well, here, we're going to unscrew this one. And you put your finger in here to stop the water. And I'm going to run out to the van.
In where?
In the valve, there's a spout. There's a spout, a hole, the spout.
Okay.
So he says, put your finger in here.
Yeah.
And just stop the water. I'm going to run to the van. And I'll get this other valve and I'll come back and replace it. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. And he has like there's a foam pad that he's kneeling on. And he said, well, here, you can kneel on the foam pad. And I'm like, oh, great, thanks. It's kind of raining out. And I was like, oh, I appreciate that very much. So I have my finger in the spout.
Yes.
And I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. And
was this an index finger or a
well,
pinky
this
finger?
is the thing. It started as an index finger.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Now that you point this out, I don't even know why I switched.
Yeah.
But I switched fingers.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Felt right.
But then I eventually ended up back with the index finger. It's crazy.
Do what you gotta do.
And it seems like he's been gone for a long time, like a very, very long time. And I have my phone and I look and, it's been 10 minutes and I'm like, maybe he left. Maybe this is like a prank.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a camera on me and someone's just left me here and they're like, we'll show you for your hot tub skills. Anyways, he comes back. Yeah. And I'm going to say 15 minutes. It might have been 11. I don't know. And he comes back with a brass fitting and he puts it in, which I didn't realize you could put brass in PVC, but hey, apparently you can. This is news to me.
Shout out, Rob.
Yeah, absolutely. And he fixes it and he does this thing and it works. It works great.
Yeah.
And, again, you call the guys that know what they're doing.
That's right.
So the lesson in that was I tried fixing it. I had it fixed, actually, and I probably, if I just had to tighten it a little bit more, it might have been okay. I had the Teflon tape on. I had all the stuff done.
Yeah.
But he had a better piece.
Yeah. Well,
and through just holding the water there, which I felt like I was like securing the biggest dam in the world. I was pretty proud of it actually.
That's a big job.
That long, kneeling down, with the finger in the spout in the hole.
Yeah.
And it was quite that was the most entertaining thing I did today.
Well, I'd
actually
say
now that I'm thinking about it.
That's quite a way to start the day with your finger in a hole, and I'm glad you had the knee pad there to
yes.
make sure your knees didn't get sore because that seemed like it was quite a session there.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I refilled the tub and I got to check it maybe tonight or tomorrow morning. I have to check and see if it's leaking anymore. But I think we'll be good.
All right.
Anyway, so there's my story.
That's awesome, man.
That's what I did.
Proud of you, Dad.
That's what I do.
I'm glad those sausage fingers came in handy.
Well, yes. Thank goodness today. So what else? So we had Halloween. We had this.
Yeah.
How's the new dadding going? Like day to day. Like
Yeah.
what's the events? What does that look like?
Yeah, it's pretty. It's awesome. It's obviously an adventure. And the adventure seems to change every week and a half, 2 weeks as baby grows and her tendencies change and she learns new sounds and new ways to move and everything. But yeah, I'd say the biggest surprise that I didn't quite, I don't know if I skipped over that section in the baby books or what, but the constant blowouts. It is absolute blowout central at our house. Pretty much at all hours of the day. Obviously, she's got a routine where you can kind of expect one, but sometimes she'll just drop one when you're least expecting it and probably at the most inconvenient times. And
I wanted to make sure you were talking about her, not you.
Okay,
good.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, again, I'm the older one, so it might be me, but
yeah,
you keep going.
Anyways, I obviously, as a dad, you're expecting the unexpected, but you're keeping an open mind and wanting to be helpful where you can be, and obviously watching your wife go through pregnancy, you're kind of looking to what can I do, what tasks can I do, grab onto right away. So obviously diaper changing was one that it's not easy, but it's one that I can obviously accomplish and learn and get better at and everything. So yeah, I mean, first few weeks all good. It's pretty small, not doing too much damage, and then things took a turn around. Yeah, week 3 I'd say. She was dropping some nukes, and I don't know, I'm sure all the parents out there can attest to this. A blowout is when a number 2 happens and the diaper doesn't quite contain everything, and she's either going right up the back or right out the front or down the leg or up in the ceiling,
north, south, east, or west.
Any which way. It's kind of unpredictable. You don't really know, but it's constant. In the first few times it happened, it was like, okay, whatever happens, and then I'm like, am I doing something wrong here? Like, am I not, is the diaper installation process not coming together the way it should be? Similar to your skills, your handyman skills. I'm not the handiest guy around, so
sorry about
usually it's a user error. So that's where my mind kind of went. I'm like, I don't know if we're using the right diapers. Am I not putting these on properly? What's going on here? And after some research, some thorough research, it's just something that happens. I did pick up a couple tricks along the way, folding the lip of the diaper on the back in, so things are more likely to get trapped. So it's not just
I get it,
free flowing. You know what I'm saying? Up
like
the
a
back.
reverse eave trough kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Create a little bit of a dam there, and
wow.
hopefully you hold some stuff in, and it does work. But
I would just wrap duct tape around the stomach. I didn't do that to you. I promise. I did not do that to you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's recommended or not.
No.
But, so it just is what it is. We kind of got a handle on it now. It's still becoming not an issue, but a bit of a concern when she's going through 3 to 8 onesies in a day, and the trips downstairs to the laundry machine are seemingly
constant,
increasing. So
we have to get the laundry machines upstairs.
Yeah,
main floor laundry. This is why it exists, I think.
I don't hate that it's downstairs, because the dad weight has been coming in, so getting the extra steps and flights of stairs. I mean, it's a blessing in disguise.
That's a good call.
We did find some cleaning techniques that seem to be working. In case anyone's wondering, in the same predicament right now, if you soak that puppy in warm to hot water, and then spray that sucker down with some Resolve laundry detergent, let that thing sit for a few minutes, and then throw it in the laundry machine, 9 out of 10 times she comes out clean. So,
man,
anyways, that's my laundry tales for this week.
That's pretty good. Every week you probably have these. That's amazing.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The best part is when she does what she does and she looks up at you and she gives you that look like, Dad.
Yeah.
You know what's in there, buddy.
It's your turn.
You gotta take me to the change table, buddy. You know what's happening. So
that's pretty good.
It's all
good. And then
good.
you do it.
That's right. I love every minute of it.
You do it. Well, we had a tip last year during Coop's ball season. One of the mums was telling us how to get grass stains out of the white ball pants, which is almost impossible. Mm-hmm. But they were using Dawn Power Wash and spraying it and then letting it, and it works great. So maybe that's another thing. Just as you were telling me that story, it's really funny. I remember when you were little, speaking of this, I remember the very first time, it wasn't the first time I had to change you, because I was hands-on. I was in there. But I remember the first time there was a blowout to the north, and some of it got in your hair. And I just remember thinking that might be the grossest thing I've ever experienced. Like that was just, it was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful. Almost, well, no, almost as bad as the one morning you were in bed with us and I was holding you over top of me playing and holding you over and you threw up in my mouth.
Yeah,
that was pretty gross.
Story. Yeah,
that was pretty gross. But the blowout thing, man. But you got to step up.
That's right.
She's not going to change herself.
No.
She's an inmate.
We're all. Yeah,
she's in jail. She probably doesn't even have access to diapers. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, she is an inmate. She did 9 months on the inside. So
yeah, geez, she's not even 9 months old and she's getting 9 months. That's insane. I can't believe that. That's pretty exciting though. The new dad thing is an exciting adventure.
It's great. She's a joy of my life. So I love every minute of it.
There you go. You're taking it all in, doing it all.
That's right.
That's amazing. Hey, so this weekend. Did you say you were watching some football this weekend or not?
I was actually, and
there was a lot going on, wasn't there?
There's a lot going on. Didn't take too much of the Sunday slate in, but I did watch Thursday night football, Joey Burrow versus Lamar Jackson, and boy, what a treat,
Yeah, that was a marquee game. That was on a lot of people's calendars, wasn't it?
AFC North divisional game, so obviously huge game for both teams. Bengals not looking great to start the season. They needed a win desperately, and it looked like they were going to grab one. And Ravens obviously came out to a hot start to start the season. And it was crazy. Ravens fan here, obviously, so try and be neutral in some of this stuff. But yeah, watching that game, it was a bit of a stinker to start, and Baltimore down 21-7, I believe it was, in the third quarter there. And big turnover by the Ravens defense kind of sparked the team, and all of a sudden Lamar went to work and threw for 197 yards and 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter alone. And just for some context, Dad, he threw for 71 yards in the whole first half. So Mr. Jackson went to work in the fourth quarter there.
Wow. Did he do the moonwalk at all?
No. I'm surprised he doesn't bring that
He should.
I mean, Mr. Jackson.
I don't know. I'm not an NFL guy, so the only that just comes to mind.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you should watch. You should watch old Lamar play. If you get the chance, you might be watching him in February when they're playing in the Super Bowl. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what a game came down to. Bengals tied it up. I mean, Joey Burrow threw for like 470 yards and 5 touchdowns, so he did everything he could. Jamar Chase went for like 260, I think, and with 3 touchdowns. So it was, Bengals gave him all they could handle and came down to it. Bengals seemingly tied it up late, and they went for 2. They went for 2 instead of kicking the extra point, which would give them the win with about, I think 40 seconds left on the clock, and instead of doing that, they went for 2 to try and win the game, which they failed. So Baltimore got the ball and just ran the clock out, and it's kind of an interesting play. I mean, I guess you don't want to give the ball back to Lamar with 39 seconds left. They kind of saw the writing on the wall that he was going to march down the field and get the dub anyway. But yeah, interesting. Turned out to be a good game, and obviously a good game for the Ravens side. Love those high scoring affairs. It's Thursday nighters are well, you obviously don't know this, but Thursday nighters are known as kind of the stinky game of the week. There's not too many great games. It seems like most of the Thursday night games are somewhat boring, and that one started out somewhat boring, but ended with some fireworks. So
I turned the game on at the very end and saw just that whole thing unfold with the 2-point convert. And I was really wondering, I think I even texted you. I was wondering, like, why wouldn't you just tie it? And at least then, you take your chances with the defense. Like you just, I don't know. It just seemed like a really brave move to go for the 2. If they had have scored the 2,
I mean, of course,
it's a different conversation, right? But that's just the way sports
it's
rolls
interesting.
out.
I mean, I would not want to be a head coach or offensive coordinator in the NFL. That's a lot of pressure. I get
no kidding. You see those guys on the sidelines, and
I get sweaty palms just sitting on the couch watching them.
Yowza!
And trying to put myself in their shoes and make some of those decisions is crazy. But that's why That's why they are compensated
Paid
handsomely.
the big bucks, yeah. When you or how long have the Thursday night games been going on? I don't remember that. Like, I don't.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know when that kind of came into effect. I mean, I only started watching NFL pretty, religiously in like 2012, and they were playing on Thursdays back then. So I'm not sure exactly.
Right.
I mean, NFL is just a absolute juggernaut. Anyway, I mean, they would play every day of the week if it was allowed, I'm sure. So.
Absolutely, yeah. And all the international games, you guys took one in. Was it last year? You guys took one in?
In London.
The Ravens game in London, yeah.
Ravens play the Titans, yeah.
Which is amazing that they do that. Spread the love and all that stuff. Baseball does that too, and like it's great that the sports are becoming international that way, and it's really interesting. Yeah, I should watch more. I've been paying attention to the Ravens since you have, and when I was a kid, we loved the Dallas Cowboys and the Tony Dorsett era and stuff, and Roger Staubach and Joe Montana,
right?
Jerry Rice, all that. Everybody wanted to be those guys, which is really cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
From Canada, it's tough, and I don't really know why. It seems like I think the NFL's just grown more now, and it seems like younger kids are paying attention more. I mean, I know when I was younger, it was CFL is what we were exposed to, and the Riders, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't watch much NFL, and I kind of wish I would have, but now it's become a bit of an obsession, and
that's good. It's healthy.
It's healthy. Yeah, I mean, it is. It is.
Are there a lot of Canadian guys playing in the league? I don't even know the ratio of.
I mean, I think it's definitely grown. I don't got the numbers on it or anything, but there seems to be more Canadians playing in the league for sure.
Yeah.
I know, actually, in the Sunday nighter tonight, I think his name is John Mechie. The third, he scored his first touchdown. He was a Canadian. He's a wide receiver for the Houston Texans. So, and actually, I think the running back for the Carolina Panthers, who I watched this morning, is also Canadian. So it does seem like there's more Canadian talent out there. And
right.
I mean, that might just be the world we live in. We're kind of exposed to everything a little bit more, and you kind of more eyeballs on everything too. So, but no, it's I mean, love the game.
That's awesome.
It's a good way to kill 7 hours if you got time to spare on a Sunday, that's for sure.
Well, there's a bulk of games. That's the 100% it is.
Yeah, we're not doing that too much anymore, but I will say having a newborn has kind of given me a bit of excuse. I think that window is slowly closing where it's like, Sunday, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
She's got naps every 2 hours.
Yeah.
What do? We're going to stay home. We're going to play on the floor. We're going to have the football on. It's been great. But
well, the weather's going to help you right away too, right?
Like, yeah. I mean, we're going to enjoy it while we can. I know maybe she'll want to watch football with me.
She will.
I don't know. We'll see.
She's got a sweatshirt.
Yeah. I mean,
she's a huge Birds fan. She's like
she's kind of born into it, kind of forced it on her right now. We'll see.
All right. That's all right. That's all good. I
would like her to play like flag football or something. I think that's such a great great sport, obviously, in itself, and great initiative that the NFL has come out with, kind of push that all over the world. And I know, like, my younger brother Coop plays and loves it, and it's kind of a good way to introduce kids to the fundamentals of the game without, the fear of getting absolutely blown up by someone who's 75 to even 100 pounds heavier than you at that age when you're kind of all growing like crazy. So flag football would be awesome, and I would love that if she played. So
absolutely, and there's such a mix of ages and boys and girls playing and everything, and there's so many opportunities for kids to be involved in sports now. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
It's the best.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's totally the best. So we got some football, and then what else did you watch? What else did we have going on this weekend? Baseball's done. That's wrapped up.
Baseball has wrapped up.
Dodgers won the World Series.
Yes, they did. They handled the Yankees. I mean, that Freddie Freeman story was crazy. I know we touched on it kind of last week and in our conversations off the record. But I mean, what a dog.
He won the MVP?
He did. Yeah. He's an absolute dog. Yeah. Everything he went through with his family, obviously, and then playing on what we thought was a sprained ankle, and he actually had like something going on with his ribs, and I can't remember the specific diagnosis, but it was like cartilage was messed up in his ribs or something, and every time he missed on a ball, it was just unbearable pain. So his dad actually tried to convince him. Freddie, he said, Freddie, it's not worth it. Maybe sit a couple games out, but he said, Dad, I'm not
gonna do this.
I'm not sitting out. I'm gonna go yard against the Yankees a few more times here and get myself a ring. So
and he did.
He sure did.
And he did. That's good. Yeah. So and then we're in the thick of NHL.
Yeah, NHL started. Obviously, we're about a month in. Actually, that's crazy. Time is sure flying. Not too many crazy stories going on in the NHL right now. Winnipeg Jets are off to an unbelievable start.
Jeez, they're just lighting it up. Did they set a record? Was that the record yesterday?
I
thought it was the NHL record, 14 wins in 15 games or something. I couldn't believe that.
Could be. Yeah, I don't know for sure, but that's insane. Hopefully
Coop asked me last night if any teams went undefeated in the NHL, and I was like, I don't think so. And then I was like, well, no,
that'd be crazy.
That'd be insane.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened.
Not even with the original 6.
Yeah.
The juggernaut that the Canadians were back then.
Yeah, 82-0 would be wild.
Yeah.
Other than that, I've been following a team that I don't really watch too often, but getting a lot of screen time and runs on SportsCenter is the Washington Capitals. Kind of a team that looked like they were obviously on the cusp of a rebuild and kind of hanging on to try and get Ovi this record, the NHL all-time goals record, currently held by Wayne Gretzky. And they're kind of, picking up pieces, kind of play with him and make sure, kind of push him along. But man, he has gotten out to an incredible start. He's got 10 goals in his first 9 games. He's on a 55 goal pace, and he's actually, if he continues this pace, he's going to break that record in February or March, which is crazy because a lot of people didn't know, a few years back if he was even going to do it, how close he would come, if he would play long enough. And then, as it got closer, it looked like last year he was starting to tail off. He scored only 31 goals last season and looked like he might only have 1 or 2 seasons left. And, they were looking at next season, the 25-26 season for him to break that record. But, man, he's going to do that before the end of the season. And it's just crazy for a guy who's pushing 40. I mean, I'm 31. Sometimes I can barely get up off the floor. So that's remarkable. I'm going to keep close tabs on Ovi for the rest of the year for sure.
He's always been a machine, and he's not a little guy. Absolutely. I keep forgetting that he's a big guy. Like he
is a unit, and the way he plays the game, so fearless, so reckless.
Yeah. He should have more injuries.
Yeah, and it's wild the career he's had and what he continues to do at 39 years of age.
Man, yeah, I honestly, did he, was it last year? Has he broken the assist record, or was there another one? I honestly didn't think, years ago, I didn't think anybody was touching Gretzky's records. I didn't think anybody was ever going to attain that because the game's changed so much, right?
Yeah.
And I just didn't think those numbers were even like in the cards for anybody, especially the guys after that, the Crosbys and stuff. But yeah, the fact that he's pulling this close, I didn't realize it was that close until you messaged me today, and I was like, holy man, like he's totally gonna. Yeah, find that, and they'll do everything they can for him, and I'm sure Gretzky would be cheering him along the whole time.
Oh, like absolutely, yeah, I know he's
pumped.
He's been out there saying, I can't wait till he breaks it, and the great one. I can't even imagine what it was like to watch him fly around the ice and in that era, like when I was. I don't know what year, was it 99 or 2000 Gretzky retired? I remember watching that last season, and I knew how good he was, and I was a young kid at the time, but I was like, was he really that good? Like this guy can barely get around the ice, it seemed like by the end of it. But I mean, you kind of grew up in that.
Oh man, back in the day. So in 79, I wrote this down here. It was 79 when the Oilers joined the NHL from the WHA. And 79 to 83 was the New York Islanders dynasty. And I wasn't an Islanders fan, but Clark Gillies played with the Regina Pats. Brian Trottiers from Saskatchewan. Butch Goring had the best hockey helmet ever in hockey. Mike Bossy, Billy Smith. There were so many reasons to follow that team, and they just could not lose until Edmonton. They actually beat Edmonton in the 83 Stanley Cup. They swept them. The Islanders did. And then from then on, for the next 7 years, the Oilers just went on a tirade. And it was insane watching him play. Like, it was just, well, that whole team, like Messier and Curry and all those guys, it was next level. But he just had a way of playing the game that just seemed to be effortless. He could slow the game down behind the net. It didn't seem like he was doing a lot, and it always looked like he was one of the slower guys on the ice, and then stuff would just happen. Yeah. And nobody could ever figure it out. It was just like magic, right?
Just one of the, obviously, the all-time great minds in the game, and,
totally.
And the way he could think the game, and yeah, I mean, you look back at the clips now, it's kind of funny. It seems like it's almost a different sport.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And for that reason, it's even kind of more incredible what Ovi's been able to accomplish. But yeah, the Oilers, I mean, I go back and look now at how fun that must have been to be an Edmonton Oilers fan, and then all the absolute shit that they've had to deal with since kind of I've been alive. They haven't had much of a run, and they've had some really down years, and then obviously McJesus is the savior, and he hasn't been able to get it done, but they might get it done this year.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, back on the Gretzky thing, though. When I was a kid, I was so obsessed with Wayne Gretzky that my aunt and uncle lived in Edmonton, and they knew I was a huge fan, and they would send me like my aunt would cut out every clipping from the newspapers, which there was lots of them, and she would mail them to my mom.
Wow.
And she would have would just get these things in the mail, and it would be like, the record this, the trophy this, the Stanley Cup this, everything like that. And I just thought he was the best. And one time, in one of these photos, I really liked the look of his hair.
Yeah.
I was like, man, he's got a really nice haircut. And I took the photo the next time I went to get a haircut, and the lady asked me, "How do you want your haircut?" And I said, "Like this guy." Yeah. And I pointed, and
like 99.
I don't know. It was probably wasn't even close. But the fact that I took the picture in, I will remember that forever. I thought
you had that.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Nice blonde feathered look.
Oh yeah, well that's where it was from. Yeah. I just take pictures in to get my haircut. I don't do that anymore.
Well,
if
you were taking news clippings into the barber, that'd be a little suspect in today's age.
At 55, I don't think you take a picture of whoever and go, "I want my haircut like Tom Hanks."
Yeah.
They'd be like, "Get out of here, you creep." That'd be a little weird.
Yeah.
That'd be a little weird. But man, that Oilers team, so when they were on that run, was I wrote this down here because, I need to write this stuff down. I was 14 years old when they won their first Stanley Cup. And when I was 14, that was my first year of Bantam, I want to say. Yeah, my first year of Bantam hockey. And I played, what did I play? I played on a team called the Masons. It was Bantam C. And we had a couple great young coaches, and we had a really good team that year. And I was really mad that I dropped all the way down to C. I was so choked. And I told myself, every year after that, I'm not making A. And I did. Every year after that, I made A to the next year of Bantam and Midget. But man, just being that age and following that team was so impressionable. That age of between 12 and 18 are probably your most impressionable years, I think, for everything, socially, music, sports, everything. But man, that was such a gift to be able to watch that happen, right in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
Even to watch the Islanders and then the Oilers go these two teams over, a span of 11 years. There was just basically two teams that won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
And
one of the teams had a goalie that would swing his stick over the goalie net and take guys out. Billy Smith was crazy for the Islanders. But yeah, it was amazing. When you were that age, who were the teams when you were that at that age? Do you remember?
Oh man.
Even if it wasn't a dynasty, what teams were on your radar? What players?
Yeah. Oh man, I could talk for hours about this. So yeah, I gotta say that 2004, 2005. So Ovi and Sid came in one after the other, I believe. I think Ovi came in 2004 and then Sid 2005, but there was a lockout in there. I think it was in 2004. So they ended up, I think, playing their first game in the same season. I think Ovi was a draft class ahead of him, if I'm not mistaken. But that was massive. And I would have been like 11 or 12 at that time, and it was those guys that were on our radar, and obviously was hockey obsessed before that, but that's kind of when it took off, and you kind of realize that these guys are generational talents. And I don't know if there had been that many previously in my lifetime like that, where it's like these guys are gonna, potentially change the game, which they have. And so yeah, originally Pittsburgh was crap for the first little bit. So was Washington, but they both had outstanding rookie seasons and starts to their career. And I don't know, like, obviously I followed the Canucks, and that was kind of a little more later in life where I kind of got more dialed into the Canucks, like, day to day. And I think that's just comes with, age and maturing a little bit and finding out what you like, and being able to follow the teams now so close with technology and everything. But yeah, Pittsburgh obviously, and then that run Chicago had was crazy with Kane and Taves. They were incredible. It seemed like they were winning every year or coming close, and then the Kings as well.
Yeah.
So there was that year, I think it was, I want to say like it was 2010 to 2015, where it was, Chicago, LA, so many great players. And I remember following Sid pretty closely, and then Evgeny Malkin as well. And I was never like a exclusive Pittsburgh Penguins fan, but those two guys were doing some amazing things. And I'll never forget that one morning before school. I hadn't seen it live, but yeah, it was like 7:30 in the morning, turn on SportsCenter, and Ovi scored that goal against the Coyotes where he's sliding on his back.
That is insane.
And I'll never forget, I was at your house actually before school, and I'm sitting there like, what?
It didn't even make sense.
Yeah. So
like, even now I watch it and I'm like, what are the probability chances of that actually
yeah, and actually I think Gretzky was the coach of the Coyotes that when he scored that goal. I could be wrong, but I think that's the case. We'll have to go back and check that. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how it all comes full circle. But yeah, when I was growing up, when they kind of came into the league, it's like it was almost like you're either like a Sid guy or an Ovi guy, and then I know me and my friends kind of it kind of depended on your style of game that you played. Were you a playmaker, were you a goal scorer, were you a little more reckless like Ovi, that kind of thing. Maybe that's just me, but I know me and my buddies, you kind of pick a side there almost. It's like the skilled Russian, and then the playmaking, good old Canadian boy Sid there. So
totally.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to emulate those guys on the ice and didn't even come close, actually. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned that about playing Bantam C. I didn't even realize that, but I remember it was Adam actually, and first year Adam I made, it was called Tier 1 or whatever at that time, and then second year somehow, I mean, obviously it must have been, I don't know what I was doing the night before tryouts, but got cut and made Tier 3 that year, and it was just like,
oh, trust me, we remember this.
As a 10 or 11-year-old, it was pretty devastating. Remember, it's like, well, like,
as a parent of that child, it was devastating.
Yeah, it's like, am I that?
There was phone calls, there was questions, there was. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. That was crazy. But I saw, maybe I'm completely wrong, and we've never actually even ever talked about this. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But I saw there was you before that season, and then there was you after that season. Like there are two different human beings that I saw come in and out of that season of hockey that taught you a lot, and help from the coaches, just all the people that understood how it all kind of played out for whatever reason, and let you just kind of be you out on the ice.
No, it was I mean, it was unbelievable, and had a blast. Probably one of my more fun years of hockey, and a lot of players that I played with on that Tier 3 team ended up going on to play. Junior and some university hockey as well, and became like great players. I mean, you're 10, 11 years old, like, it doesn't really matter what you play, but the confidence that I got from that season, it was just like, because I don't know if I kind of, I guess, had a bit of a head on my shoulders where I thought I shouldn't be there, should be playing Tier 1 or whatever, but you gain so much confidence, and I think it was just kind of manifested itself organically, where I thought I was a leader on that team, and maybe I wasn't even from the start, but I assumed that role and just had some success, and it just snowballed from there. And the amount of confidence that I got and the friendships that were built, and, you know, learning more about yourself and how you operate at that young of age was massive. So, like, I mean, I would tell any kid out there, and I tell Coop this all the time, it doesn't matter, like, right now, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, have dreams, have goals, but you got to realize it doesn't really matter what you're playing at, you know, 10, 11, 12 years old. If you have a goal to play competitive hockey or sport or music or whatever it is, always strive for that. But, you know, there's lessons to be learned, and there's ways to improve. You know, if it doesn't always fall in your favor or the way that you think it's supposed to go, you just gotta, you know, work a little bit harder maybe, and kind of go with the flow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sports. Yeah. It teaches you that, like, a lot of that. Like, it's funny. I'm just going back to the Crosby thing. It's funny how you mentioned the year of that, and, you know, the age gap between you and Coop is 20 years, and he's a Penguins fan because of Crosby.
Yeah.
You know, that much younger. The other night we watched the Capitals and the Penguins play, which was unbelievable. It's crazy that you just go, man, this has been going on for that long, and these guys are still, like, you know, Crosby jerseys are still being sold.
Oh, and they're
at a breakneck pace.
They're
you
like,
know, it's
I mean,
insane.
aside from last year, Ovi's been the heartbeat of that organization for a long time, and producing. Like, Sid's still producing at a, like, incredible pace. Like, it's insane. Like, I think he's still leading the team in points. And, you know, exceptional leader, obviously. So I mean, yeah, those are once in a lifetime guys, man. You don't see too many guys playing for 20 years in really any sport. Well, I guess maybe golf, but it's
a physically demanding, you know, sport that, you know, you're training. You know, it's not just the season anymore. You're training 12 months a year. Like, it's constant, right? Yeah. You're in. Yeah, I know that's really incredible when you mention that. Well, yeah, hopefully Ovechkin can do it. That'd be pretty highlight for the season.
Yeah,
if he could pull that off.
I mean, that'll be historical night whenever it does happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen on, like, a empty net goal. That'd be kind of lame, but
yeah, right. Maybe you could pull it over the back again, and, you know, something like that.
They don't ask how, they ask how many.
That's right. Exactly. He'll win it on a Mishi. A Mishi, is that what they call it now? Coop was practicing him downstairs.
Oh,
I don't even
Michigan.
know what it was. Yeah,
oh
exactly.
Oh my God, that's hilarious that they say a Mishi.
I can't remember. He called it something today, and I stopped and I went, "What? Is that what it's called now?"
I love that. That's hilarious.
Haven't seen any 12-year-olds in U13A pulling that off this year.
That's funny. I've seen a few, like, 36-year-olds try that in adult safe, and it does not end well. That does not.
You're kind of setting yourself up for, you know, if you do it again, way to go. But the probability is pretty low.
You better have the day off work tomorrow, because you're gonna be icing something.
Yes, exactly. You're gonna be icing something. That's exactly right. And back to the confidence thing. Back to the confidence that we saw you build out of that hockey year was huge. And Coop this year, you know, being 12, he's playing U13A. Last year, his team that he played on finished the season with 9 points. They weren't good. 9 points. His team this year already has 6 wins. They have 12 points. His team last year finished with 58 goals in the whole season that they scored. His team now in 6 games has 58 goals.
Yeah,
it's insane. He's playing on this team that is really good. They're very confident, but none of them are, you know, carrying it like they're the best. They're still working hard. They're still playing for each other. They don't want to let each other down. And it's really great as a parent to see that sort of attitude and sort of work ethic kick in, and you don't get, you know, lazy or whatever. There's still lots of season left, but I think they'll just keep forging ahead. And I think he's going to, you know, we'll look back years from now, and this could be one of those building block years where we go, man, remember that season in 24 when, you know, you guys had this really good season of hockey, and what did you learn? And, you know, those are just such important things. And again, the seasons that you know, I played on a baseball team as a kid, and we didn't win a game all year, and it was one of my funnest baseball seasons ever because the coaches were great, the players were great. You're still friends with a bunch of the guys. Like, you know, you remember that stuff. So it's not the scoreboard or all that stuff. It goes way, way beyond that, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the U13A Buffaloes are an absolute wagon. That kind of goes without saying at this point. I love that they're having success. I love that Coop's having success and having fun. It just makes it, you, like you said, you can have fun on any team you're playing a part of, even if you're not having success on the ice. But it is nice to have one year like that where you're having success consistently and finding out what it means to work as a team and like watching Coop grow up. Obviously, unique relationship with the 19-year age difference there, but it's kind of got me thinking of like how I want to parent my kids and reflecting on maybe how I was parented from you and mom, obviously. I see so many kids that grew up with parents that, put so much pressure on them or coaching them constantly on everything. And that's great. Like if that's kind of your style as a parent and your kid, receives that well, that's great. It depends on the personality. I guess everyone's different, but I was so lucky to never have that pressure and anything I was doing it because I wanted to be doing it. And therefore I worked my ass off at it and did the best that I could. And, didn't go anywhere in hockey, but the lessons I learned are priceless, and the friendships and relationships I took from hockey and other sports too. Something that I'll hold with me even to this day. There's so many guys that I played on, in Adam with that Adam Tier 1 Rangers team was the building block for so many lifetime friends that I have still. And man, we still talk about those days. Like we got inside.
Well, you guys
jokes
have
going
kids
back
together now?
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah.
They were the wedding party.
Yeah,
I
it's crazy.
see these guys and I still remember being 12 years old, right?
Yeah.
Which is super cool. I love
crazy.
it.
Yeah, it's such a good thing, and sports are a big part of that. And I, talking about, becoming a parent, obviously it doesn't have to be sports. It can be music. It can be any sort of extracurricular activity that, my daughter has interest in. And I just want to obviously support her, but I want her to understand that, I don't care how good you are or the result. I only care about how hard you're going to work. And that's kind of something I want to get across to her. And I saw this great interview with Kirk Cousins. He's a QB for the Atlanta Falcons right now. And he said that exact thing, like talking about how his boys. And he said, the only thing I want to do is instill grit in my boys. And, what is grit? Well, grit can mean a lot of things, but ultimately it means you work hard. And he goes on to say that, like, he doesn't want his boys to just show up and think, okay, I showed up, I swung the bat, I succeeded, that's it. He instead wants them to realize that it's the work that you put in that makes you successful. So instead of saying, boy, you sure did good, you're really good at that. He just goes on to say that he would rather say, I love how hard you worked at that, and explain that it is the work that goes into everything. And that's something that, just one thing that I've been thinking a lot about lately when we get to that time is just instilling that work ethic and passion for hopefully anything that the young girl wants to do. So.
Yeah, no, those things are so important, and you're right with just going the extra mile on things, putting the extra work in, just realizing that if you really want to do something right, you can always do extra stuff, and again, the results don't matter. I had the same thing when I was a kid. I remember mom and dad not ever, there was not a lot of pressure. There was times when I didn't play well, and I would hear about it, and I would argue back, telling them to put the skates on, which is the wrong thing to do. Don't do that to your parents. Don't advise them that. But there was never any like a lot of pressure. It was, you go out and you have fun. And when you leave the game, did you try your best?
Yeah.
Like, can you actually leave that game going, you know what? I left it all out there. I did everything I could, and I'm cool with that. Yeah. Or do you leave going, oh man, I only, it was 70%. I could have tried a little bit better, But even then, it's like, well, some days you got 70%. Some days you get like, I don't know. And you guys were so good with that. You guys were just like, we'll just go out and play. And we loved coming to watch you guys play. Like it's amazing for me, having seen you and Jayla play all the sports that you guys played and do all the things. And we tried to be there as much as we could to all the stuff. And now with Coop and you're just taking it all in. And it's like, man, that's an important lesson as a parent, just to kind of go, this is what you do. You show up and you support them, and you make time to be there, because these are going to be things that they're going to learn later in life. They're going to have a job somewhere and go, man, why am I responsible like this? Or why do I do it this way? Or why do I do it that way? And it's like, well, because you learned it when you were like 14 years old from this coach or this parent or whatever. And it just streams into everything you do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're talking sports because that's kind of where we have the experience, but obviously your background in music, it's the same thing.
100%.
There's talent only takes you a small way.
Yeah, guaranteed. Yeah, there's a lot of examples. We'll talk about that in future episodes, but examples of musicians from Saskatchewan and the prairies that, have some amazing, amazing gigs in the world. And it's like, man, that guy's from Moose Jaw and that guy's from that small town. And it's like, yeah, but their work ethic is off the charts. They can outwork anybody from any town. So that's huge.
Yes. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
I love it.
I love that quote. I think that's from an old high school basketball coach, but kind of resonated with me when I heard it. I know we're talking about sports, and I just wanted to say the whole reason we are able to have the opportunity to participate in sports and do all this cool stuff, even sitting here chatting with you and have the freedoms we have is for those that have served our country. And with Remembrance Day coming up, I just wanted to acknowledge all those that serve our country and obviously remember them on Remembrance Day, but every day as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So important in a country like this that we get to do what we do because of that. I agree.
Absolutely.
Well, what do you think? Are we out for today?
I think that's it.
I like it. We had a lesson.
We did.
We talked about fixing hot tubs.
We did. We talked about blowouts.
We talked about some blowouts. Yeah. We talked about some NFL.
A little bit of NFL in
We
there.
got some Gretzky, Ovechkin.
Always nice.
Hockey. Oh man, we covered a lot of stuff.
We sure did.
We got it. I think we got today's work done.
It's always a pleasure.
Yes, it's my treat. It's my treat as the old dad to hang out with the new dad.
Absolutely.
It's the best.
Anyway, shout out to all you guys for listening. Hope you ride with us on this journey. I'm looking forward to bringing you some more content in the near future. And until next time, cheers.
See ya.